Hello and welcome at last to the Happy Little Futures podcast once more. As always, in case you don't remember, because it's been a while since I've done one of these, let's take a deep breath in to start with, breathing in through our nose and release out through your mouth. And let's get on with the podcast. So it has been, gosh, nearly 5 months since I last recorded a podcast episode, which I frequently wanted to record one. I just haven't quite got around to it. We've had a lot of stuff going on with the kids in particular. So they all had chicken pox, which fantastic. It's out the way. It's done. We have finally done chicken pox, but that was chaotic. We had sickness within the first couple of weeks of school starting in the year, and then chicken pox, and then it was a half term somewhere. Oh no, they had that during half term was during chicken pox, and then they were back, and then and then is now, then is now. So we're back. I'm back. I am very excited to be back at last, and I'm hoping that I will be able to continue being here a little bit more present in the podcast because I really genuinely have missed doing this. so so it's been a big time all round. I thought I'd just do a quick what's happened the past few months. Which when I thought that originally, I was like, gosh, I've got so much to say and I've been thinking about this for months. And now that I've come to say it, I'm like, is there anything to say? There is. We've had like I said, we've had all the illness and stuff and all of that. I have struggled a little bit more recently, I suppose, with just my anxiety, sort of general. But I think it's sort of because the kids have been ill and like not having that sort of steadiness in routine throughout that time. That's been hard, and our eldest has started to struggle with her anxiety a little bit more too. So we've sort of had a lot going on in that sense over the past few months, trying to sort of support her as well. It's been a bit of a journey the past few months. She's just started getting a little bit more worried about things and all of that. I mean, I've spoken before about her anxiety when she was younger, and it started to feel like that's coming out a bit more at the moment. It could just be that she's tired. She doesn't go to sleep very well. It could be that just now that things are sort of ramping up a little bit with school, she's sort of getting a little bit more mental stimulation is possibly not quite the term I want to use, but maybe things are just becoming a little bit more challenging, I suppose. She keeps coming home saying, "Oh, we were writing a persuasive letter today," and I every single time I'm like, "I don't think I did persuasive letters till I was in like year 8." It's like, how are you doing persuasive letters? But she's doing it and she's loving it. She absolutely loves school and doing all of that. She gets very stressed when she can't focus and when she's struggling to sort of like keep up with work that's going on at school, which I think gets her on edge. Um, so there's been a lot sort of trying to figure out how to support her through this at the moment. So obviously she's got all these skills. I'm so thankful that for years I have been putting in these sort of like ways to recognize her emotions and sort of skills to help manage her emotions and becoming more emotionally aware herself and aware of what's going on in her body and her mind as much as anything else. Because, like, if it wasn't for having done that, she, I don't think she'd actually be aware of what is going on in her body. I think she'd be a lot more frustrated. Whereas as it stands, she's been able to sort of talk to us about it, let us know what's going on, let us know where she is, and that helps us then to sort of help her proceed in a more measured way, I suppose. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of things. Obviously, I've spoken before about homeschooling and stuff like that. Um, I've sort of started to go like obviously I'm not doing that at the moment. She's in school at the moment and she loves it. But there is that part of me that's sort of been like, it's fine that this is happening and that she's struggling, and it's good that she's supported and she can know she can talk at home. But the fact that she's bottling it up at school worries me. So also trying to get a bit of extra just reinforcement of what we do at home at school has been hard, and there's obviously a lot going on for everyone nowadays. So sort of just trying to I've just been trying to get I feel like I've been chasing my tail for 5 months, guys. I haven't. It's just been a journey. She's okay. She's doing well. We're okay. We're sort of getting to a more level place in the house. We've had. I think the other thing is I've spoken before about sort of the way that the mess in the house affects me. So we had Christmas, didn't we? And then we came out of Christmas, and I thought, oh, good, I can get on top of the house a bit and sort of have a bit of physical clarity as much as mental clarity. And that didn't quite happen because then a child was sick, and then another child caught it, and then we were okay for a few days, and then the chicken pox came, and then they were fine, and then the third one got chicken pox, and it was just a whole thing. Um, so yeah, so I think generally the illness, the mess, the inability to move and think and wanting to start some groups and stuff like that, and then not really knowing how or when, and we had a lot of trouble with finding our youngest a nursery as well. Um, so she was meant to go to one nursery before Christmas. They were like, "Oh no, she hasn't got a place for April," and I was like, "Well, you told me that she had." So I sort of managed to get her signed up for another nursery who were like, yeah, we should be able to have space for her come April, which is when her funding would kick in. Um, that then didn't happen either because they had suddenly different priorities for their kids and sort of the way that they had to prioritize who they were taking in. So that didn't happen. And then I went to sort of sort it out for September, and it was like, right, she's got this place, and then it was, oh well, actually, yes, she's got this place, but we're changing the hours that she can do, and it's like that doesn't work for me. Oh, it's just been there's been a lot of life admin over the past few months, and yeah, it's just been very busy, and I've managed to get her. I am currently sitting downstairs for the first time, possibly ever, to record my podcast. Normally, I think I've told you before about how I cram myself into a corner of the bedroom and sort of sit in a tiny secluded corner, acting as if I'm in a soundproof room when actually I'm just mushed up between the wall and the bed. So I'm actually sitting at the table and on a chair, which is quite a revelation. Hopefully, I won't have a headache after recording this one from sitting in a horrible position. Um, but yes, I'm sitting downstairs. She's at nursery. She wasn't so happy going in today, bless her. But it's only a second week, and we're just going to take it steady. So I'm not there to force her into anything too quickly. But I do feel that she needs a little bit of a push to go out there on her own. She's very ready to be off socializing with a lot of people, and there's a lot of times at play groups and stuff like that that I do feel that she's not exploring to her full potential because I'm there. And like the times when I've nipped to the toilet and just left her with someone else, I've come in and she's off exploring other things. I've been able to tell for ages that she wants to go and look at, but she's when I've gone over with her to do it because that's what she wants, she's then not really interacted with it properly or has waited to sort of follow my lead, which I'm all about modelling and I do lead and do show her, but it's just as important for her to explore on her own. So I think it's good for her that she's going. I am now that we found a fourth nursery in the end is what we've got to. So now that we've found that fourth nursery, it's a lovely nursery. The staff are very caring, very loving, um, and I am excited for her to go off and explore and sort of find out a little bit more who she is in her own space. Um, so yeah, so that's something. I thought I'd be a bit more emotional, especially as she's my last. But I feel awful, but I haven't. I haven't felt quite as emotional. Um, Part of it might be because I've been getting up crazy early every day to try and fit in some work before she gets up. Um, so I'm very tired, and there's part of me that's a little relieved that I might be able to do some during the day, rather than squeezing it into the few hours before she wakes up, and then exhausting myself for the day. Um, Another part of it could be that in the middle of the night she's been waking up and screaming in our faces in our bed and telling my husband in particular, but both of us, to get out our bed so that she can she can sleep. And it's like, no, this is my bed. So that's been hard. Um, and so I am very, very tired. Um, and then I think another part is just that I genuinely am excited for her to go off and explore the world a little bit and explore what's going on. So yeah, and in the meantime, I've started doing my first toddler group. So for 0 to 4s, if you're in Birmingham, on Thursdays in Barnt Green at St Andrew's Church, you can find information on the website and on socials and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, on Thursdays in Barnt Green, I am doing a toddler mindfulness and sensory session. So I'm absolutely loving it. Um, it's not on this week because of voting day tomorrow for us. So, but I'll be back next week. So that's the 9th of May, and that's fantastic. I do half an hour of sort of like mindful and sensory stories, and kids can move around as freely as they need to or want to, because it's not. I know I've said it so much on here, but it's hard to get that message across, especially to sort of new people coming and sort of discovering me and discovering what I do. It's so it's so important that people understand that the way I teach isn't to force your child to sit down and be still. It's as much about you as the parent having that time to yourself, or that breath to yourself, that opportunity to breathe, um, and sort of engage with your own body and your own senses, and learn how to then model that for your child, as it is for the child to go through that too. And I have lots of breathing tools and sensory things and stuff like that out that then the kids can use, and they can go and do sort of some breathing. And like if they are wandering off, I've got a little mat and they've sort of wandered off and had a little bit of a play and played with some windmills or whatever over there. And I've really enjoyed it. And I've had really lovely feedback from the parents. And the even nicer bit is that then so I do half an hour of that, and then I have an extra half hour after where we get to have tea and coffee and biscuits and have a chat. And it's nice to see parents socializing. It's nice to have a chat with them, sort of see how they found it, sort of see if there's any things that I can help with in general as well, and sort of have those discussions. It's been really lovely, and also to get to know the kids a bit too, because I think quite often these things can be a little bit busy and a bit rushed. So by having that space afterwards, it allows them to get to know me and me to get to know them, and that's really nice as well. So yeah, so it's been a very busy few months. But I am back. I am here. I am hopefully going to continue to be here. And I might start recording podcasts, maybe still tucked underneath the bed, or not underneath. I wasn't under the bed, between the bed and the wall. Or I might start doing it first thing in the morning. And if the kids wake up before before it's finished, you'll just have to listen to the sound of the kids, because I have missed this. So so hopefully you'll start to hear from me a little bit more. And I am definitely going to speak to you next week. So I'll leave it there, and I will catch you later. And in the meantime, if you take a look at my socials, actually, I forgot to mention this. I am doing a brief history of me. I'm doing a brief bit. It's Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week this week. And I'm putting out sort of a brief part of my story of my maternal mental health. Um, Over the past few years. Um, I'm putting that out on my socials for this next week, so you'll get a little bit of my story each day. So hopefully that will help people to understand a little bit more where I've come from, what I've been through, and then sort of how actually I am just another mom that's been on their own journey, and I'm here to help you go on yours now. So yes, I head over to those. Those will be on Instagram, Facebook. I have finally braved TikTok. Um, I didn't want to, I will be honest, but I'm just testing the waters for now, and we'll see what happens. Can't promise I'm going to be hanging out on there. I actually have next to no intention to hang out on there, but I'm going to put my videos up there so that some of you guys can, if you use TikTok a little bit more, head over to Happy Little Futures on there, and you'll be able to get the story on there. Because I know a lot of people do use it, and it's also on YouTube and LinkedIn. So go. There's the full shebang. Go and have a look, and I will see you next week. But before I do that, we will take one final deep breath in through your nose and release with a big sigh out through your mouth. And I will see you later.